So, okay, good morning everybody. So, heat part total completed. So, now we are going to start new chapter. So, vectors. We are going to start the new chapter, vectors. So, it's very important chapter it is, as per physics point of view. Without knowing this chapter vectors, we can't do anything in mechanics, in the electricity part, each and everything. This vector chapter is very basic thing to do the problems in mechanics, electricity, everything. So, this is the basic. So, very important. You people are very careful about this. So, now come to the topic, vectors. What is meant by a vector quantity? So, generally physical quantities can be divided in different ways. So, fundamental physical quantities, derived physical quantities, like that. But here in this situation, the physical quantity can be divided into two cases, that is vectors and scalars, and two more quantities, that is tensors and phasors. Physical quantities can be divided in different ways. So, generally different ways in the sense, of course, according to units and dimensions, we can divide this into fundamental physical quantities and derived physical quantities. But according to here, we can divide into different ways. Those are vectors, scalars, tensor quantities and phasor quantities. So, here we can divide this in four ways. Those are vector quantities, scalar quantities, tensor quantities and phasor quantities. So, in this chapter we can discuss about vector quantities and scalar quantities. What is meant by a vector and what is a scalar? What is a vector and what is a scalar? So, that is, first of all, what is it? How can you define a vector quantity or scalar quantity? First, how can you define a scalar quantity? How can you define a scalar quantity? Any physical quantity that must have only magnitude, no direction, that is called a scalar quantity. Any physical quantity that must have only magnitude, it doesn't have any direction, that is called, what is that? A scalar quantity. That is called a scalar quantity. So, this is the example of scalar quantities. What are the examples? Distance, speed, work, power, energy, flux, magnetic flux or electric flux, like this. So, these are the examples of scalar quantity. Still, time is a scalar quantity, length is a scalar quantity, mass is the scalar quantity, area is the scalar quantity, volume is the scalar quantity. So, like this, all these are scalar quantities. So, any physical quantity that must have only magnitude. So, for example, come to the point distance. So, for example, the distance between two cities is let us say 200 kilometers. So, that is the scalar quantity. If you mention the particular direction, for example, distance between Hyderabad and Vijayawada. So, let us say around 310 kilometers it is. So, if you mention only the distance between the Hyderabad and Vijayawada is nothing but 310 kilometers, that is the only magnitude. If you mention the direction, that is via Suryapeta or via Nalgonda or via, for example, if you go to the via, let us say, I think it's Miryal like that. In different ways we have, So if you mention the particular way, that is not a scalar quantity. If you mention the only magnitude, so that is the scalar quantity. This is scalar. Next, what is a vector quantity? Vector. Any physical quantity that must have both magnitude and direction, and also obeys laws of vector addition, then only it is considered as a vector quantity. Any physical quantity that is a vector means it must follow this condition. This is the definition. Any physical quantity is said to be a vector quantity. That quantity must have both magnitude and direction, and it also obeys laws of vector addition. What are the laws of vector addition? Later we can discuss about that. So this is the exact definition of a vector quantity. Of course, certain physical quantities having both magnitude and direction, but those are not vector quantities. So that's why here examples of these vector quantities are here the displacement, velocity, next acceleration, force, momentum, next angular momentum, torque, So all these are the vector quantities. Still inka intensity of electric field, and magnetic fields. All these are vector quantities. So this is the definition of vector and scalar. Any quantity that have only magnitude, that is a scalar. Any quantity that have both magnitude and direction, that is a vector quantity. Magnitude and direction, and also must obey laws of vector addition, then only that is a vector quantity. So now come to the topic. So what is here? For example, I am considering the electric current. Let us say it is denoted with I, and its unit is ampere. You people know about this in 10th class. In your 10th standard, you have current electricity chapter. In that, electric current. What is electric current? It is denoted with I. That unit is ampere. What magnitude of current? Current must have certain amount of magnitude. Definitely, no doubt about that. And what is the direction? The current is also having particular direction in the external circuit. If the battery is connected in the external circuit, the direction of the current is always from positive to negative. But of course, the current is having both magnitude and direction. Let us say here 5 amperes of current passes through the circuit. What is the direction? Always from positive terminal of the battery to the negative terminal of the battery in the external circuit. So that means the current is having magnitude and direction, but current is not a vector quantity. Current is a scalar quantity. Why? Because the current does not obey the laws of vector addition. So that's why current is not a vector quantity. Current is a scalar quantity. That's important. So that means vector means it must obey laws of vector addition. It's very important. You must remember. Vector in the sense it must obey laws of vector addition. Otherwise, it is not a vector quantity. Best example, electric current. That is. This is the definitions of vector and scalar. How can you represent a vector? How can you represent a vector? So next, here representation of vector. So any vector can be represented like this. So this is the representation of a vector. So this is called starting point and this is the ending point of the vector. So this length of the vector is nothing but magnitude of the vector, and the arrowhead indicates the direction. Arrowhead indicates the direction. So this point is called starting point of the vector or tail of the vector, and this is the head of the vector. So let us say it is A and it is B. A is called starting point of vector, or tail of the vector, and B is called head of the vector. So B indicates, this arrowhead indicates here, arrowhead indicates direction of the vector. Arrowhead indicates the direction of vector. This arrowhead indicates the direction of the vector. And here length of the vector indicates its magnitude. So length of the vector indicates its magnitude. Length of the vector indicates the magnitude. So this is the representation of the vector. So any vector starting this point, this is called arrowhead. So like this, this length indicates the magnitude of the vector. This length indicates the magnitude of the vector, and this arrowhead indicates the direction of the vector. Arrowhead indicates the direction of the vector. A is called the starting point of the vector and B is called the head of the vector. Starting point, or it is also called as tail of the vector, and B is the head of the vector. So that is the situation. So this is the representation of vector. For example, velocity is a vector quantity. So V can be represented as V bar. So generally velocity is a vector quantity. How can we represent it as a vector? So it is a vector V bar. So let us say force. So we can represent it as F bar. Next, momentum. So momentum, it can be represented as P bar. Next, torque. So how can you represent it as torque? Tau bar. So let us say acceleration. How can you represent it as A bar, like this? It is a vector quantity. That's vector quantity represented like this. So it is a vector quantity that can be represented like this. It's physical quantity. Above that it is a bar. So force F bar, momentum P bar, torque tau bar, acceleration A bar, like that. So this is vector quantities. So this is the representation of a vector. Length indicates the magnitude. So here force, let us say force is considered as F bar. How can you represent the magnitude of force here? Magnitude of force is equals to modulus of F bar. That is the magnitude. Magnitude always must be positive. Magnitude must be always positive. Very important it is. The force is mentioned as a F bar. Force is represented as a F bar. What is the magnitude of the force here? Magnitude of F bar. This is the magnitude. This is way to find out the magnitude. Magnitude always must be a positive value. Magnitude always must be a positive value. So next here, just I am considering speed is scalar quantity and velocity is vector quantity. So speed is the scalar, velocity is the vector. Just we discussed already. So velocity is nothing but, magnitude of velocity is equals to speed. That means velocity is having direction and speed doesn't have any direction. That is the major difference. If the two bodies are traveling in the same straight line, in the same direction, then this is a vector and scalar. That means velocity and speed. Velocity must be represented with the direction and speed doesn't represent with any direction. So magnitude of velocity is equals to speed. Magnitude of velocity equals to speed. That means, for example, if the car is traveling with a speed of 60 kilometers per hour, a car is traveling with a speed of 60 kilometers per hour. That is the speed. From towards east, let us say, if the car is traveling with a speed of 60 kilometers per hour towards east. So if you mention that towards east, that is a vector quantity. If you mention the direction, that becomes vector. If you are not mentioning the vector, if you are not mentioning the direction, that is a scalar. So that is the situation. So vector quantity and scalar quantity. That is the difference here. If you mention the direction, that must be the vector. If you are not mentioning the direction, that is a scalar. So this is the representation of a vector. Next. Next, what are the types of vectors? Now come to the point. Types of vectors. So first we can write parallel vectors. Parallel vectors. How can you define that parallel vectors? If two vectors are in the same direction, so that is called, if two vectors must be in the same direction, then that is called, what is that? Parallel vectors. Two vectors must have same direction irrespective of their magnitude. Those are called parallel vectors. Of course, their magnitude may be equal or may not be equal. Their magnitudes may be equal or may not be equal, but the direction must be same. Then those are called parallel vectors. So like this, the representation of like this. This is called parallel. These are called parallel vectors. So two vectors must be in the same direction, irrespective of their magnitudes. Maybe the magnitudes must be same or may not be same. Not compulsory. So those are called parallel vectors. Next, anti-parallel vectors. Anti-parallel vectors or opposite vectors. Anti-parallel or opposite vectors. What is meant by anti-parallel or opposite vectors? For example, two vectors must have exactly opposite in direction. Exactly opposite in direction, irrespective of their magnitudes. So that is called anti-parallel vectors. Two vectors must have exactly opposite in direction. Let us say it is one vector and it is another vector. So this is towards positive x-axis and this is towards negative x-axis. So those are called anti-parallel vectors or opposite vectors. Their directions must be exactly opposite in direction. Their directions must be exactly opposite in direction. So irrespective of their magnitudes. Maybe the magnitude same or may not be the same. It is not compulsory. So those are called anti-parallel vectors. Next, equal vectors. How can you define equal vectors? Equal vectors means two vectors must have, any two vectors are said to be equal, those two vectors must have equal magnitudes, and are in the same direction, So those are called equal vectors. If two vectors must have equal, then those two vectors must have the same magnitude and the same direction. So two vectors must have, any two vectors are said to be equal vectors. Those two vectors must have same magnitudes as well as same direction. Same magnitude means length of the vectors must be same and the directions also must be same. Those are called equal vectors. Here let us say this vector must have the same length and both vectors must have the same length and the directions also must be the same. So that's why these are called equal vectors. Next, unequal vectors. Unequal vectors means any two vectors are to be unequal. Their magnitudes may be different. Their directions may be different. Or both may be different. Or both are different. So these are called unequal vectors. So if two vectors are to be unequal, maybe there is a difference in magnitudes, difference in directions, or both are different. So those are called unequal vectors. Maybe the magnitudes are different magnitudes, or the directions are different, or both are different. Any condition is possible, that is called unequal vectors. So this is the parallel vectors, anti-parallel vectors, equal vectors, unequal vectors. Next, condition. So what are the linear vectors? Linear vectors means if the number of vectors are in the same line, irrespective of their magnitude and direction, those are called linear vectors or collinear vectors. Collinear vectors. So that means, let us say these are the number of vectors maybe lying in the same straight line irrespective of their magnitude and direction. See here, these are the vectors lying in the same line. Irrespective of their magnitude and direction. See here, this direction is this one and this direction is this one, this direction is this like this. Maybe the same direction or opposite direction, or maybe the same magnitude or different magnitudes, whatever it is. But if all the vectors are in the same straight line, those are called collinear vectors. Next, coplanar vectors. Coplanar vectors means if the number of vectors lying in the same plane, irrespective of their magnitude and direction, irrespective of their magnitude and direction, irrespective of their magnitude and direction. Those are called coplanar vectors. If the number of vectors lying in the same plane irrespective of their magnitude and direction, same plane, so let us say it is xy plane, this is one vector like this, like this, like this, irrespective of their magnitude and direction, whatever it may be the direction, whatever it may be the magnitude, but here all the vectors must lie in the same plane, so that is called coplanar vectors. Those are called coplanar vectors. Next, co-initial vectors. Co-initial vectors. Co-initial vectors means here if the number of vectors starting from the same point, irrespective of their magnitude and direction, those are called co-initial vectors, whatever it may be the direction, but for all the vectors the initial point must be same. All the vectors must be start from this point, whatever it may be the direction and whatever it may be the magnitude, those vectors are called co-initial vectors. Co-initial vectors. So these are the some types of vectors. Main important types are here. What are the types of vectors we are come across very importantly are one is negative vector. Negative vector. So negative vector means, so the vector having the if any vector so here for any vector we can draw negative vector. For any vector we can draw negative vector. So the negative vector is, the negative vector has same magnitude of original vector, and exactly opposite in direction, opposite in direction of original vector, so that is called a negative vector. For example, this is the vector a bar, just I am considering this is the vector a bar. How can you draw the negative vector of a bar here? Here negative vector of a bar can be drawn as, so the magnitude of the vector must be same but the direction must be opposite. This is the direction of a bar and this is the direction of minus a bar. Vector must have the same magnitude but exactly opposite in direction. So this is a bar and minus a bar. A bar and minus a bar must have the same magnitude but the direction is exactly opposite in direction. So this is called a negative vector. So for example, F bar is equals to 50 newtons of force. So minus F bar can be written as, the magnitude must be same. Let us say this is positive x axis and this is negative x axis. For example, one force is acting, one force of magnitude 50 newtons, acts along positive x axis. For example, see here, let us say it is the body of mass M acts placed on the horizontal surface. So a force of 50 newtons acts in the positive x. The vector must have the same magnitude as that of the original vector. The vector must have the same magnitude as that of the original vector, but exactly opposite in direction. But exactly opposite in direction. That is called a negative vector. If a bar is a vector, acts in the positive x-axis, negative vector of a bar must be in the negative x-axis. For example, if one vector acts along the positive y-axis, one vector is acts along the positive y-axis, negative vector of this must be in the negative y-axis. Negative axis. Magnitude must be same. This must be negative y-axis. So this is called the negative vector. So for example, we are traveling towards the wall. That is considered as positive. What is the negative? We are traveling away from the wall with same speed. With same speed. That is the negative. So for example, velocity. We are traveling towards the wall with the velocity 0.25 meters per second. 0.25 meters per second. We are traveling towards the wall. We are traveling towards the wall with a velocity 0.25 meters per second. So that is the velocity. Velocity is a vector. What is the negative vector of velocity? We are traveling with same speed, that is 0.25 meters per second away from the wall. We are traveling with the same velocity, that means same speed, 0.25 meters per second away from the wall. That is called the negative velocity, negative of the velocity of this one. Towards the wall is considered as positive. That means away from the wall is considered as negative, but the magnitude must be same. That is considered as negative vector. That is considered as negative vector. So it's very important, it is negative vector. Next, one more vector is unit vector. What is meant by a unit vector? So here the vector whose magnitude is 1 is called unit vector. The vector whose magnitude is 1 is called a unit vector. That magnitude is 1. So velocity of the body is 1 meter per second. What is the magnitude? 1. That is the unit vector. The force acting on the body is 1 Newton. The force acting on the body is 1 Newton. What is the magnitude? 1. So that is the unit vector. So any vector that magnitude must be equal to 1, that is called a unit vector. For example, if a bar is the vector, a bar is a vector, how can you find out the unit vector of a bar? If a bar can be written as magnitude of a bar into a cap. So vector in the sense that vector must have both magnitude and direction. Any vector means any physical quantity is said to be a vector. That vector means it must have both magnitude and direction. So that's why a bar is a vector. Modulus of a bar is the magnitude. And here a cap, this is considered as a cap. A cap means, what is the a cap here? Direction of the vector. Here modulus of a bar is magnitude of the vector. Modulus of a bar is magnitude of the vector. And a cap indicates the direction of the vector. Direction of vector. And magnitude of a cap is 1. The magnitude of a cap is 1. So here a cap, so that is the unit vector. So that means modulus of a bar is the magnitude of the vector and a cap indicates the direction of the vector. So from this we can write a cap is equals to a bar divided by modulus of a bar. A cap is equals to a bar divided by modulus of a bar. So this is the way to find out the unit vector. A cap is nothing but the unit vector. So direction of the vector and it is the unit vector. So how can you find out the unit vector of any vector? How can you find out the unit vector of any vector? A cap is equals to a bar divided by modulus of a bar. So for example, if the force, how can you find out the unit vector of force? F bar divided by magnitude of F bar, because any vector is equals to its magnitude into direction, its magnitude into direction. So that is the situation. F cap is equals to F bar divided by modulus of F bar. So this is called unit vector. And you have to remember very important thing. So unit vector along x axis is considered as is I cap. Next, unit vector along y axis is j cap. So unit vector along z axis is k cap. So these are the fundamental representation. To represent the fundamental basics, you have to represent the vector. Unit vector along x axis is I cap, and unit vector along y axis is j cap, and unit vector along z axis is k cap. For example, let us say it's a body placed on the horizontal surface. So let us say body, a force of 5 newtons acts here. A force of 5 newtons acts like this. How can we represent the force? Force is a vector quantity. Force is the vector quantity. How can we represent the force? Here F bar is equals to phi magnitude. What is this direction? Positive x axis. What is the unit vector along the positive x axis? I cap. So that's why the force is represented as phi I. Force is represented as phi I. So for example, the say 10 newtons of force acts along the y axis, then how can we represent 10 J? Because along positive y axis, what is the unit vector? 10J. In the same way 10Z, whatever it is. So here the direction, what is the direction? It is positive x axis. So what is the direction? Positive x axis. What is the unit vector along positive x axis? I cap. So that's why the force can be written as, generally what is the force can be written as? F bar can be written as magnitude of F bar into F cap. So what is the magnitude of F bar? Phi. F cap. The F cap indicates what? Here F cap indicates what? Direction. What is the direction it is? What is the direction it is? Positive x axis. Along the positive x axis, what is the unit vector we have to consider? I cap. So that's why I am representing it is phi I cap. So for example, if the force is given as phi I cap, if the force is represented with phi I cap, that means 5 newtons of force acts along positive x axis. 5 newtons of force acts along positive x axis or y axis. 10 newtons of force acts along positive y axis, or 5 newtons of force acts along positive z axis. So here I, j, k, in the sense I, j, k represents the directions along x, y and z axis. So that is important here. Very, very important point, you have to remember this is. Without knowing this point, so everything is blind. So this is the unit vector.